The Chicago Bears just dropped a nuclear bomb on the offseason roster with 14 massive signings and a stealthy coaching hire that screams Super Bowl blueprint. But while we are stacking the deck, did the Detroit Lions just make the biggest mistake in franchise history by passing on the best play caller in the game? We are breaking down every single move, the secret coaching connection you missed, and the NFC North chaos that just blew this division wide open. Smash that like button and subscribe right now if you want the Bears to run the North in 2026. Let's get this news out to every fan in the city. We have got a packed show today, guys, because the front office is not messing around. We are barely into the offseason and the roster churn is already hitting overdrive. The Bears have officially signed 14 players to future contracts. Now, for the casual fans, you might think, who cares, these are just camp bodies. You are wrong. This is how you build the bottom of the roster that wins you championships. Remember, the roster expands to 90 players now, and these guys are about to fight for their lives. Let's look at the offense first because there are some legit names here. Britton Brown is back. I'm telling you right now, do not sleep on this guy. When he got the rock last year, he looked explosive. With Roskin Johnson finishing the year on IR and entering the final year of his deal, I'm planting my flag right now that Britton Brown is coming for that RB3 spot. He runs angry, he's decisive, and I think he gives this backfield a different kind of juice behind the starters. We also brought back the offensive line depth with Kyle Hergel and some receiving options like Maurice Alexander and J.P. Richardson. But here is the name that caught my eye, Nikola Kalinick. This guy was elevated for both playoff games. That tells you the staff trusts him when the bullets are flying. He is a gritty blocker, a special teams demon, and exactly the kind of glue guy you need on the 53-man roster. And then, we have the battle of the specialists. Luke Elkin is back. I know, talking about long snappers isn't sexy, but listen to me, Elkin competed with Scott Daly last year, and Daly isn't getting any younger. Elkin was Tory Taylor's snapper at Iowa. That chemistry matters. If I'm betting money today, I think Elkin takes the job this summer. It's a ruthless business, but that's how you stay young and cheap at the position. When you look at these depth signings, do you see a team just filling spots, or do you see a front office that finally understands that championships are won by the guys at the bottom of the depth chart, not just the top? Now, let's get to the news that has me absolutely buzzing. The Bears have hired Will Lawing to the offensive staff. If you don't know the name, don't worry, that's why I'm here. He was the offensive coordinator at Boston College, but that's not why this matters. This hire is all about the deep connection to our head coach. Digging into the history books, Lawing and Ben Johnson were college teammates at North Carolina 20 years ago. Ben was slinging the rock as a quarterback, and Lawing was playing receiver. That is a bond you cannot fabricate. Johnson is bringing in a guy he knows, a guy he trusts, and a guy who speaks his language. Lawing has also been grinding under Bill O'Brien for nearly 15 years, stopping at Penn State, the Texans, Alabama, and the Patriots. He's seen it all. He's worked under Nick Saban. You don't survive in those buildings if you don't know football. We don't know his exact title yet, maybe assistant receivers, maybe quality control, but bringing in a former collegiate OC who has a telepathic connection with your head coach is a total power move. It's about building a brain trust that is totally unified. The running backs coach job is open, but honestly, with his background, he could fit anywhere. It is a smart, calculated addition to the staff. Let's zoom out to the rest of the division because the NFC North is absolutely on fire right now. First off, Eric Bieniemy is officially heading back to Kansas City as their offensive coordinator. This is terrifying, folks. We saw what he did with our run game. The man is a wizard. Him reuniting with Patrick Mahomes is bad news for the entire league, but I'm just glad he's out of the division. Then you have the Miami Dolphins poaching Jeff Hafley from the Packers to be their new head coach. This is music to my ears. Hafley had that Green Bay defense playing fast. Now the Packers have to scramble to find a new defensive coordinator. Anytime Green Bay loses a good coach, it's a great day for Chicago. And then there is the Brian Flores saga. He interviewed with Pittsburgh, but it sounds like they are leaning elsewhere. If Flores doesn't get a head coaching gig, he likely goes back to Minnesota. I hate this. Flores's scheme is a nightmare to prepare for. He gives rookie quarterbacks fits, and he has been a thorn in our side. I was really hoping he'd get hired away so we wouldn't have to see those zero blitzes twice a year, but it looks like we might be stuck dealing with him again. But the biggest story, and the one that has me scratching my head, is Detroit. The Lions have hired Drew Petzing as their new offensive coordinator. I need you to sound off in the comments right now because I am genuinely baffled. If you had the choice between Mike McDaniel, arguably the most creative play caller on the planet, and Drew Petzing, who are you hiring? Let me know below. Type McDaniel or type Petzing. Dan Campbell hired Petzing, and I think I know why, but I don't like it. Petzing was in Ben Johnson's wedding. It's the buddy system again. But this feels dangerous for Detroit. Last year, Campbell hired his buddy John Morton, and it was a disaster. Campbell had to take over play calling. Now he's hiring another friend of a friend. Look, Petzing isn't bad. He did decent work in Arizona. But Mike McDaniel was sitting right there. If you are the Lions, and your window is open, how do you pass on a genius like McDaniel? I'll be honest, as a Bears fan, I am relieved. The thought of McDaniel designing plays for those Lions weapons was giving me cold sweats. With Petzing, I feel like we have a fighting chance. If this goes south, Dan Campbell might be on the hot seat sooner than anyone thinks. You can't keep missing on coordinator hires when you're trying to win a Super Bowl. The division is shifting, guys. The Packers are bleeding coaches, the Lions are taking massive risks on their staff, and the Bears are quietly stacking depth and bringing in guys who know the system inside and out. We have Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson speaking to the media tomorrow morning, and you know we will be all over it. We are building something special in Chicago. The foundation is set, the depth is signed, and the coaching staff is locking in. I want to see your predictions for the division next year. Can the Bears go back-to-back? Let me know in the comments. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, bear down.